Alright, I said I'd update you guys on this one, and here it is. So, I made a video a little while back about this Ben's Golden Riverside, and I had all kinds of theories as to why these figs, once we get them rooted indoors under lights, why the roots start turning brown and dying back, and then the fig eventually drops its leaves and dies. Because that's happened to a lot of us. It's happened to all of us, I think, and it's a very frustrating thing to work with. Well, first of all, over the years, I've kind of learned that, well, over the last 4 years that I've been doing figs, I've kind of learned that I don't like growing them indoors as much because of this problem. It doesn't happen to all of them, but occasionally it happens, and it usually happens to the one you don't want it to happen to. Fortunately, I've been able to keep this Ben's Golden Riverside alive. So, it looks healthy and good, but I'm going to tell you exactly what I've been doing to keep it alive and why its roots haven't turned brown and died back and the leaves haven't fallen off and it's healthy and viable. So in that last video, I told you that my theory was we need to let these things dry out. We're overwatering them when they think they're in a dormant state. Well, I panicked, guys, and I'm going to tell you exactly what I did here. So, when this thing started to dry out on the surface a little bit, and I noticed the root growth was just starting to slow down a little bit. They were still white, they still looked healthy. I really searched my soul on this, and I thought back to 4 years ago when I started with these figs and how I used to treat them in the very beginning and never seemed to have a problem with this. I used to water the heck out of them, and for some reason, for some crazy reason, I decided that I was watering them too much, and I've had some problems here and there from then on. So when I noticed that the top of this soil was just starting to dry out, I threw caution to the wind and I just doused it with water. I just watered the whole cup, let it soak up water from underneath and get tons of moisture. And you know what happened? Those roots picked up again and new growth started to come on even faster. And it was then that I started thinking maybe my entire theory in that last video was completely wrong. Maybe what we're doing is we're drying our figs out. Maybe these things need tons of water. I don't know if I'm changing my mind just quite yet, but on this fig, it absolutely seems to be the truth. I mean, the roots went on to grow even more healthy and bigger over time. You can see them things in there. And they're all around the cup there. And they're still doing well. And this little guy has not dropped any leaves. They don't look the best. It's been indoors though. The other thing I did after about a week from the time I watered it was I noticed it was starting to dry a little bit on top again. And I thought, you know what? It seemed to work the first time. Let's give it a little bit of fertilizer this time. So I gave it a weak, very weak solution of Miracle Grow fertilizer. And over the last couple weeks, I just continued to give it more water and make sure that this never dried out and that it stayed really moist. So long story short, or actually I just gave you the long story, but in the end, I've got a healthy Ben's Golden Riverside that seems to have made it really well so far and not having any problems, but it's still indoors. These things just don't thrive indoors. So now today's May 1st. The weather's starting to warm up here. I'm going to bring this thing outside. I'm going to put it in the hoop house here. We're going to pot this up into probably a 2-gallon pot and just let it take off and see what it does. Anyway, I told you guys I'd do an update on this, tell you exactly what I was doing as I was doing it, and that's what I did to keep this thing alive and growing healthy. In the future, I may just water these things even more and just see if that does something better for them. Maybe we need to do more experiments with this, but in the meantime, we'll get this guy potted up. And there it is, Ben's Golden Riverside. Now this thing is going to grow on real healthy, I hope. I don't think there's going to be any problem. It looks like a healthy young little fig. We're just going to let it grow on through the summer here. In fact, I may end up taking this one and planting it out in the orchard. This one's a definite keeper. After seeing Ben's video, I'll put a link to that down in the description below if you want to see it. But he made a video a couple of years ago about this particular fig, and it just, watching the video, made me a total believer and convinced that I have to keep this one for my area because I live just maybe an hour and 15 minutes south of him. So this thing is going to perform really well here. The other one that I got from him, I think I'll just keep around for cuttings and things like that in a pot, but this one's probably going out in the orchard. If you guys want to see updates on how that little guy's doing down the road as the summer comes on, just let me know. I'll make a video for you. And I know there's lots of videos I need to get to that I've promised you guys in the past, and some of you are pounding on me about right now because it's springtime and it's the time for gardening. But I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I hope you liked the little update of that. If you did, hit the like button. Subscribe if you want to follow along and see fantastic gardening videos. Have a fantastic week, and I'll see you in the next video. Adios!